everybody? It's been a while. Uh, got really busy in college, especially the last 3 weeks of it got really intense. So, sorry it's been a while since my last art vlog, but hopefully I can get a little more consistent with it soon. I say that a lot, don't I? Anyway, um, this one I'm going to be talking about is a game called Obey Me. So I think I should start off with how I was kind of introduced to the game. So I heard about Twisted Wonderland coming out, right? To like the mobile apps and stuff like that. It just came out in Japan when this happened. So I had a feeling like, okay, so this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this in the next video, because like literally Twisted Wonderland is the main reason why I ended up playing Obey Me first. Um, so when Twisted Wonderland was out, I was like, not that I was like really intimidated by the gameplay. I just I knew like my older sister played a lot of gotcha kind of gameplay styles, right? So I wasn't really sure, like, maybe I should play something. I guess while I'm waiting, I should play something similar in the sense of like how the gameplay works. So, to be fair, I didn't ask my sister yet about it because, like, as I was like researching of the possibility of when we were gonna get Twisted Wonderland and gotcha and how to do gotcha games, because like, I don't want to bother her every time I have a question. So I decided, to look it up first and then kind of ask her if I got stumped on something. And people as people were talking about, I was like, so what kind of game should I play? While I'm waiting for Twisted Wonderland, right? And there were so many vocalized people that were strongly suggesting Obey Me. And at first, I was like, at first, I was like, okay, that sounds like a good game. And then I kind of looked at some of the advertisement for it, and I'm like, because the advertising, like, the game's doing fine. It's just, I feel like the fans do a better job at advertising this game than the game, like, the people. I mean, I think the advertising's gotten better slightly. I think they're kind of poking jabs at it at this point. Is like, it feels like, like those really bad dating simulator apps, like those really cheap looking ones. I remember playing them, um, which is kind of ironic because that's also how I ended up finding, what was it called? What was that game called? It was called, uh, Mystic Messenger. That's what it was called. I remember playing Mystic Messenger. That was like my very first like dating simulator app game, and I was like, I was so into it that I decided to go through all the other ones, and they were just trash in comparison. So that's when I got burnt out of that. So that's why I was a little hesitant on uh, the 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 advertisement for Obey Me, because it had that vibe when it came to the first few advertisements for it. And it was funny because so then I was like, okay, I'll think about it kind of mindset. And then I asked my sister, uh, like, how can you just tell me a few things about gotcha games, and also what do you think of this game? It was funny because apparently she played it. She was like, I've played Obey Me, and I was like, oh really? And she's like, look, and she immediately went in defensive mode because she knew exactly what I was thinking when I asked her that question, because she was like, look, the advertising is awful. Don't think too much about it, okay? The game's actually pretty good. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, I trust you on that one. So that's when I decided to end up getting the game. And I wanted to play through it first, once again, before I asked any particular questions. I mean, she kind of helped me on a few things, like, I mean, it's one of those things, I always do this to myself every time when it comes to gotcha games now, is that I end up using all my free stuff on the wrong thing until I'm like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do with it. Like, and then by the time I start figuring it out, I've kind of wasted all my free stuff that I got for playing the game for the first time. I think everyone has done this, to be honest, because every gotcha game has like slightly different ways of maximizing your stuff, and you just kind of have to work with it as you go. I personally think it's better that way. But if you really want to maximize what you can get, I strongly suggest asking someone that's also playing the game before you start putting your whatever fake currency into whatever thing. Because like after like I made a few like kind of mistakes, I was like, okay. Um, and my sister pointed out that she had her maximized strategy of what to do and whatnot, and what is like possible, what is more likely, uh, what things are most likely to reappear over time. Just like sometimes like look, unless you're one of those people that has to get it now or never, you'll have to do like actual money to purchase, or if you're very patient, you're most likely going to get it again in a different thing over time, except maybe some events. So that's the thing about gacha games. It's just like if you have enough patience, you don't have to pay a dime for like any of it. The only thing you really have to do is deal with ads. But if you have Twitter or YouTube, like that's nothing to you. Ads are ads. So you're basically playing a free game all day, all night. But what I will say, if I had to say any kind of negative to the game, is that you do tend to drown in like every time you open up the game. This was kind of a thing that happened when I first started, but now it's only gotten worse. Is that when you open up the game, you get bombarded with like ads and event stuff going on and all that stuff. And that's kind of normal with some gacha games, but this is getting egregious. Luckily, it's not a lot of third-party stuff. It's all focused on the game, and half of it's not even talking about the shop. It's usually talking about like the website got an update, or there's a new YouTube video like little animation thing that they posted, or like it's just like I said, luckily it's not always about the shop. It's just more of just a bunch of updates, whether inside the game or outside of the game, that it's connected to. And it, in and of itself is not bad. It's so much, and I think the events are a little too close to each other. Like you barely get enough breathing room between events. Uh, there's and once again, gotcha games always have this problem, but this is like it's one of those things where if you ever played a gotcha game, I'm speaking to the choir when it comes to this kind of topic, but just also speaking to the choir when it comes to gotcha games, if you have, I think I've mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned earlier in the video, if you have addictive personality or you are the kind of person who likes to play video games up to like item maxing in the sense of well, like you have to have everything, you just can't let go of things that you just didn't get, do not play gotcha games. Just a heads up. Is like you don't need everything, okay? And if you ever play a gacha game that requires you to have, item maxing and stuff like that, that's not a good gacha game. You're being scammed. Um, Now I do want to point out the fact that I've been, let's see, I've gotten up to when it comes to the main story, lesson 51. So I'm in the middle of the whole like trying to find these fairies and stuff like that. It's one of those things where I haven't played in a while, so I'm kind of vague on some of the story, at least where I am. I feel like I'm right in the middle of stuff I'm literally in the middle of stuff happening, and I'm trying to remember exactly what happened because I've been off of it for like a few months now because of school. Like, I haven't been on it since my last semester. This video is more of me talking about like what it was like when I played the game um, a while back, and bringing and just basically answering the question of why I ended up playing it in the first place, and really going into too much detail about where I am in it right now, considering that I kind of in the middle of hopping back into it. I'll probably save it for a different video. That'll give me another excuse to draw another piece on Obey Me. If anybody's interested on any updates of me playing the game. So like with the picture that I'm making also is that obvious is obvious. I'm going after uh, Levi or Leviathan, whichever way you put it, um, in the game. Ever since they revealed his angel uh, outfit thing form, I guess the best way to put it. I decided I was like must draw, and obvious is obvious. I tend to go after the nerds in these games, so that I'm starting to think that that goes into real life too. Um, but yeah. So if anybody's interested in me talking more about the game, just give me more time to actually play it because I've been off of it for a while and I feel like trying to remember what happened wouldn't be as interesting as me actually going back and playing the game itself. Because I do definitely have that vibe of I fell out of it, but not because anything went wrong, like in the sense of like I didn't like it. I still love it. It's just a little hard to get back into because I have to. There's actually huge updates since the last time I played it, so I have to like kind of get into that. Like there's a lot of things I still remember, and then there's like all this new stuff in it now. So I need to find the time to just sit down and play it with everything going around in my life, it will be very difficult to pop right back in, even though I really, really want to. It's just, I need to find, I'll probably do it this weekend. Like this weekend, as recording now, maybe. I don't know. When this video ever goes up, I am so sorry it took so long to get back into these, but I promise I'll be coming back. I will come back. But yeah, so if anybody's still interested in me talking about this particular game, then I will try to get back on it. I'll probably get back on it whether you guys are interested or not. But uh, I will be playing it at some point. I guess the more interested people are me interested in talking about it, the quicker I'll get back to it. So, this has been a while, so I apologize for anybody that even remembers commenting on the I've been playing Twisted Wonderland because I promised to put those comments into this video, and it's been, when's the last time I uploaded this? 7 months ago. Woof. Okay, but I will answer them anyway, even if no one remembers them even posting the comments in here. I have Neek over here. The amount of joy that I felt when I finally saw this video is unimaginable. Thank you for that. Uh, it's one of those things I feel this comment this comment hits a little different now. The fact that it took me this long to answer this comment. Eek. Sorry, Neek. Um. Then there's, and over here we have Tyrion Biscuits. Jack is indeed a good boy. Now, this comment only makes sense in the video. Only in the end if you know anything about Twisted Wonderland, which, by the way, Jack is a good boy. He's amazing. He is, I think, I remember playing the game not too long ago and I started realizing a few things about the characters that some of them, when they use I forget what it's called, but it's like the neutral magic, right? Because there's like the element one and there's like this one neutral one. And I think, if I remember correctly, his magic shoots like light instead of darkness like the other ones do. There's a couple of characters that do that. I know I've noticed Jack did it. I noticed um oh, what's the hunter's name? No. Hunter dude's name from Beauty and the Beast. No, not Beauty and the Beast. What? No, Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty Rook. Rook's the hunter. Rook's the hunter. Okay. So Rook, he shoots light magic, I think, if you could call it that. Like, it's like that's what I'm calling it. I don't know exactly what you would describe it as. And I think there was one other character. Oh, what's his name? The the other good boy. I think it's pronounced Kalim or K. No, it's Kalim. I hope I'm saying his name right. The Sultan character dude, the prince. Um, I think those are the only three that I saw so far that shoots the light magic. So it does make me put the ponderings in the brain. Back to talking about Twisted Wonderland. That's another game I need to get back on too. Like it's like I fell off when I didn't want to. And then we have next comment would be you should name. Oh, sorry, it's Emily. you should name the vlog series The Ramblings of a Mad Woman or the Beau Gallery Variety Hour. Well, uh, I mean, I'm still thinking of a name, to be honest. I do like The Ramblings of a Mad Woman, like, because that's how I feel every time I make these videos. I'm all like, what? I'm just gonna throw this into the ether. It's fine. Um, should I call it Ramblings of a Mad Woman? I want to call, like, Ramblings sounds fun. Ramblings. I need to think of something that sounds good with drawing and rambling. Rabble, ramble, rabble, draw, rabble, drabble, drabbles? Drabbles? Beau Gallery's Drabbles? Drabbles? Doesn't sound that appealing. But it sounds fun to say. Drabbles. Emily will put a couple of comments here. You know what? I'm going to speedrun them. How long do these templates take? It depends. If I put like the entire, like, if we're talking about, like, because I kind of go in and out of drawing these things, so I would say if we talked about like the actual time length, I would say 3. Like the easiest ones are like 3 hours. It could go between it could go from 3 to 10. Yeah, I think 10. I don't think I've ever taken, like, footage wise longer than 10 hours. Um, and that's just like the longest I could think of. I haven't actually sat down to actually look at the watch time to see how long it takes to, like, how long the recordings are. But usually, like, each recording is like an hour, so, like, but depending how many each separate videos I have, I'm just like, ooh, like, 3, like, the shortest was like 3. So yeah, I would say if we're talking about just the recording time, I would say 10 hours. That would be the longest, 3 to 10. And then another Emily, I will forget my daily lesson. Ask the uh, Dolago owl. The Duolingo owls? The Duolingo owls? I can't even do it. The Duolingo owls. Still talking. And then another one. Yeah, yes, crying. The funniest thing. You really need to timestamp these, Emily. I haven't seen this video in such a long time. Oh no, I know that part. Yes, it was the part we were talking about, the riddles route that near, like, we wanted to cry so much. My sister wanted to cry so much on that. Once again, a lot of these, especially the Emily comments, only make more sense the more you watch the I've played Twisted Wonderland video. Which, by the way, I'll probably put a link to this at the end of this, so you guys can check that out, so you understand what this more of the rabbles. And then never underestimate gotcha rolls. They are rigged. I mean, there are some days that are super rigged. But you know, that's like when you realize you've gotten like a bunch of bad rolls on a bad event, you know you're gonna get some good stuff in the next event. I just know it. This sounds like a bad habit. Sounds like a bad habit I'm putting into the world. And that was all the comments. Even the one, at first I was all like, nah, I'll just only read one of these. Nah, Emily, you get all the comments now because until I'm popular, you get all the comments. Um, and that is it. I hope to see you all in the next video. I apologize for taking so long. That was terrible. I should have never done that to you. Uh, but hopefully I can get back to these. These might just be a monthly thing until I get a good backlog of these. At least that's the idea. So, see you next time, guys, and hopefully I am back, even with college. I'm like, you know what, fudge it. I'm going to do what I want. So, see you all later. Good morning and good night.